Wanted to review drill bits today with you, and this video is definitely set up for the first time builder versus the experienced builder. If you're gonna buy bits, go out and spend some money on some Brad point bits versus these standard drill bits. These bits, as they get dull, will begin to wander and walk across your wood. You won't be happy with the results, especially if you've got your guitar finished and you need one extra hole. If you use these bits, they'll wander, and you'll be pretty disappointed with these types of bits. My recommendation is to use the Lee Valley Brad point bits. These bits have 3 points, and the center point always goes in first, and then as it cuts through the wood, as it tears through here, we've got 3 points of contact on the wood, and you get very little walking as you're drilling. This set of bits was the highest rated bits in fine woodworking a couple years ago. I would recommend getting this set, and then getting a couple of metric bits along with that. Here I've got a 10, I've got an 11, I've also got an 8 and a 9, just depending on the different tuner sizes that you have. These bits stay sharp for a really long time. I have a lot of success with them as I'm drilling in the various wood. The other different types of drill bits that you have out there are the Forstner bits. And these bits are really good at taking out a lot of wood and not ruining the end grain as you're digging in. I use these bits when I drill out the telly end jacks, or the control, the output jack. I always use these bits because they're very steady. You've got the point, and then as this wood digs in, it's not going to tear out. If you use the wood boring bits, such as this, you'll get some tear out sometimes because this isn't really a steady bit, and since you've got such a wide point here, it's not as stable. I only use these for construction or when I'm drilling the control. When you use these with the standard point, you get some of that walking if the bit isn't sharp. If you're going to choose between a bit with teeth, a Forstner bit with teeth or without teeth, I always get the bit with the teeth. These teeth stay sharper longer than a standard, that's only got 1 or 2 teeth. Here you get all the pieces cutting into the wood so that you get a much longer life. These bits are great when you buy them in bulk, but in long term, you'd be much happier and much better off buying, this is an Advantage bit that's titanium coated, and this bit has stayed sharp forever. I've had a lot of good success with this bit. Whenever you're drilling a hole, you always want to start with either a punch set. I bought this punch set, with the various sizes from, 1/8 all the way up to 1732. And what really helps me when I'm drilling is I get my mallet, pop a hole. Now I've got a hole of where I'm drilling, and I know as I go into the hole, I'm not going to get any wandering because I've got the starter hole. So as you're drilling, always start with a starter hole. Specifically if you're using these types of bits, because you'll have the standard bit, because you won't have as much walking. I usually don't drill a starter hole with the Brad point bits because I don't need to. I know the bit's not going to walk. I usually just mark with these bits with an awl. As long as I've got a little starting point right here, I know when I'm going down in the drill press, as long as I get it right there, it's going to grab it and it's going to sit perfectly. So if you're using standard point bits, always start with a smaller hole and work your way up to the size that you're looking for. That way you won't get any walking. And then when you're using the Brad point bits, I always mark with an awl, and then you've got a perfectly centered hole, and you can go from there.